everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Lexie and today's video is going to be May's wrap up. I had to think about what month we were in. So these are going to be all of the books that I read in May. I did not get through as many as I wanted to. I only got through 6. I still have 4 left on my TBR list, so I was, well, technically 3.5. I did read half of one. I don't know if that means that that one book was good or bad because I only read half of it, but I haven't quit on it. I'm still working on it. Okay, so now that my rambling is done, I have a total of 6 books here. 4 of them physical copies, 2 of them are audiobooks. But I think I had some winners this month. So yeah, let's just jump in and talk about the books. So I think I'm going to talk about I think this is my favorite of the month. I really do. I was really excited about this. I finished this literally yesterday. So that was the 29th of May I finished it, and I love this book. I don't know why, I just love this book. But this is Arsenic and Adobo by Mia P. Manansala. I loved this book. First of all, the cover is amazing. So this is a cozy mystery. I have never read a cozy mystery, but now I need all the cozy mysteries in my possession and I need to read them stat. Because I don't know, I loved this book. So this follows, can you guess? Lila? This follows Lila. She has to move back to Shady Palms, Illinois, I believe it is, to help her family and help her aunt's failing restaurant. Well, she moves back to town and she's helping with the restaurant. She's doing all the cooking. Well, no, her grandparents her grandma and her aunt are mainly the cooks. Lila likes to bake a lot. She likes to really venture out with the different tastes, the different textures, the different ingredients on dessert. So she's really a baker, but she's helping with the restaurant. Well, her ex-boyfriend, which was her first love, her first boyfriend, high school sweetheart, has turned into a really mean food critic and has been attacking her aunt's restaurant. And well, he came in for food and he was eating her food and was complaining about it. They get in an argument and then he literally drops dead. His face falls in the bowl of food and he dies. So now everybody thinks she did it. So this whole book is about proving that she did not commit his murder. But it's not just a murder mystery, because you get a whole bunch of different dynamics in this book. Maybe that's why I love it so much, because if you followed my channel, you know I love books that have anything to do with restaurants or food. I don't know why. Half the time, I have never eaten any of the food that they've talked about in this book. Do I want to try it? Yes. Have I ever eaten it? No. But it makes me just so hungry. Like, I don't know, the food just sounds so good. So anything with food in it or restaurants, I love. But this book also has the friendship dynamic. She's working on her friendship with her best friend. She has the family dynamics in there where she's trying to figure out, does she want to stay in Shady Palms? Does she want to leave? Because she was living in Chicago and she loved it. But does she want to stay? So you get the friendship or the family dynamics in there. Then you get a little bit of romance sprinkled in there. And then there was just a whole bunch of stuff. There's just so much. She has a wiener dog. Like a little dachshund. Look at that. So cute. I used to have a little dachshund named Lucy and I loved her to death. But yeah, so this book was just the cutest cozy mystery. It is going to be the first in the series. So I cannot wait for the rest of the series. The rest of the series will be an auto buy for me because I loved this so much. This is only a little under 300 pages, so it was super easy to read, super fast. So I cannot recommend this enough. It is the cutest little cozy murder mystery book, so go get it. Okay, so the next book that I read this month is The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. This definitely, I don't know, I guess Arsenic and Adobo is tied with this one. They were both fantastic, but this is such the typical enemies to lovers romance story. So this follows Lucy and Josh. They are up for the same promotion at work, but they hate each other. So pretty much what it is they're competing for the same position at work, and they're having to spend even more time than they already did before together. But they're realizing that their feelings of hate may not actually be hate. So they're kind of coming to terms with their actual feelings, and coming up and also fighting at the same time for the same position. So it's really, really interesting. I don't know. It's your typical typical enemies to lovers, but I don't know. I love the characters, Lucy and Josh. I hate saying that it's the typical enemies to lovers because it is, but Lucy is just cute with like her little Smurf decor that she likes, or just her outfits and whatnot. But then you also have Josh, who has these, I don't know, there's just something about them. Josh has these, like, he does the same shirts every single day of the week. I don't know, I can't place what puts this above all the other enemies to lovers stories. Like, this is probably on the same level for me as the Unhoneymooners. So they're both about a 4.5 to a 5-star read. But I don't know. I can't tell you what puts this up above everything else, but I love this one. It was such a cute little office enemies to lovers book. So if you've heard about this and have wanted to pick it up, go do it. You won't regret it, because Lucy and Josh are just, they're just the perfect couple, and it's crazy that it took them so long to realize that. So go try this one, because I think you'll like it. Next is In a Book Club Far Away by Tiff Marcello. This book, I was very surprised how much I liked this book, because I picked this up because, one, the cover is gorgeous, but two, it was based around a book club, and I liked that. But I don't really like, what would this be called? Just like regular contemporary story. This is just based on friendships. So a lot of times I like a little bit of mystery or like romance or something to my books. And this one literally surprised me so much, because I think I rated this a 4-star. And that surprised me because I just felt like this was going to be an okay book. Like, this was going to be a book like, oh, it's good, but I thought it wasn't going to like jump out at me. But for some reason, I loved this. I absolutely love this book. It was such a good pick from Book of the Month. And this follows 3 women, Regina, Adelaide, and Sophie. So they all met 10 years prior to when the book started. They were all army wives, except Regina was actually part of the army, but also her husband was too. So she is classified as an army wife as well. So pretty much this book follows these 3 women. They were best friends 10 years before the book started, and then the book starts with Sophie and Regina not talking anymore. And this book kind of dives into what happened to the relationship, how it started, how it built up, what caused it to drop, and what caused them to not be friends, and then what has brought them back together and possibly friends again. So I don't know, this was such a fun story to read about friendship, and I don't know, I can't place what I'm trying to say, but it was such a great little, not even little, this is a decently chunky, almost 400 pages. This is a good book about friendship, and just to watch these women come together and figure out this friendship and all of the things that happened in the past, I think it was a good book. So it's also based around books, so, and a book club, so you do get books. They talk about like 50 Shades of Grey and the Hunger Games, and so you do get the book club aspect of this book in there, and I thought that was a cool little addition. So this does talk about some kind of trigger warnings, so infertility, cheating, stuff like that. I'm trying not to give away too much, but there is some trigger warnings, so just go in cautiously because it might bring up some things if you're not fully prepared. Okay, and the last physical copy book that I read was American Royals by Catherine McPhee. I haven't noticed, but I love how my nail color like matches kind of all the books that I read this month. The blue matches this, it matches the blue in the arsenic and adobo. That's weird. They kind of match perfect. Okay, that was a little side note. That was just me rambling. But American Royals by Catherine McPhee. So I've been really excited to get my hands on this, to read it, because I've seen a lot of people post about it, and I love reading books with royalty in it, especially romance, family drama. There's a whole bunch in this. So this is based on if we had offered George Washington a crown instead of a presidency. So this follows the Washington family in modern times, and it follows Beatrice, Samantha, and Jeff. Those are the three siblings. Beatrice is the heir to the crown. Then it's Sam and Jeff, they're twins. So this follows that family, and then it also follows Sam's friend Nina, and I can't think of her name. Jeff's ex-girlfriend? Yeah, Jeff's ex-girlfriend. I can't think of her name. Daphne? I think it's Daphne. Okay, so it follows the 5 of them. So pretty much this book is dealing with their problems. Sam's not happy because she feels like she just is the spare. So she feels like that she can never do anything right. She wants the crown, but she knows it's not her place because she's the spare. Beatrice is the heir, but she doesn't really want it. She kind of feels trapped. She's kind of being forced to marry now. Jeff is just the typical kind of like party prince, but he's having some romantic drama. And then you get Daphne, who is his ex, so obviously who doesn't want to date a prince. And then you get Nina, which is Sam's friend, and their friendship kind of goes through this rocky thing. So you're following 5 different people. So the story is, all of their stories kind of mix together, but at the same time, this story is kind of bouncing from person to person, event to event, different things happening all at the same time. But I really, really enjoyed it. I finished this one day and I went and picked up the next one the next day. So I recommend this if you like royalty. This is a young adult, so young adult royalty, teenage drama, family dynamics, you know, friendship drama, just a whole bunch mixed in here. I loved it. I can't recommend it. It was great. I think I gave it a good solid 4 stars. So I highly, highly recommend this. I think this one was super fun. Okay, so let's talk about the 2 audiobooks I did this month. And I cannot tell you, like I said, I don't think I read a bad book this month. I think they were all a good solid 4 stars or above. Maybe a 3.5 to 5. 3.5 to 4 to 5. Kind of like that scale. I think I read pretty good. I don't think I was disappointed with any of the books I read this month, which that's a really good thing because I don't think I've had a recent month lately where there hasn't been a book that kind of let me down. So yeah, I think May was a good month. I didn't get to read as much as I wanted to, but the quality of the books I read was good. So I'm very, very happy with that. Okay, so now I'm done rambling. The first audiobook that I listened to on Audible, this is included in Audible Plus. So if you do have the Audible Plus, go read these if you haven't, because I really enjoyed them. This is The Bridge Kingdom. I'm sure you've heard about it before. This is by Danielle L. Jensen. The Bridge Kingdom is a romantic fantasy book. I started dabbling into fantasy romance back with From Blood and Ash, and I loved it, so I figured I'd give The Bridge Kingdom a shot because a lot of people are recommending it, and I have to say I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. So this follows, I can't remember her name. Shocker, right? Surprise, surprise. So the main character, the woman, was raised from 5 years old to think that Ithaca, the other country, was the enemy. They were the reason why their people were starving and that pretty much everything in the world is going wrong. So she was raised to do that, and she was also raised to kill. So the main goal for her was she was going to go marry the king of Ithaca because they had this treaty or this thing that they had to do where the king's daughter would marry the king of Ithaca and there would be a treaty. So she was trained to hate him and be an assassin. So her job was to go and marry him and kind of like earn his trust and then backstab him and kill him. Well, she goes through and pretty much things don't pan out the way that they should be because not everybody is telling the truth, and she's realizing that everything she learned growing up is not the truth, and everything, you know, because not everything you know growing up is the truth, especially what she learned. And then she's also learning that not everything Ithaca is telling, that, you know, Ithacanian people are telling her are true, but they're more true than what she learned about growing up. So now she's kind of questioning, am I really supposed to do this? Is this really the job I'm supposed to do? So typical fantasy romance, she starts falling for her husband, who she's supposed to kill. So it was really interesting. I liked it. It was a really good fantasy. It's based, so the whole story is around this bridge. That's why it's called the Bridge Kingdom. Ithaca controls this bridge, and pretty much this bridge allows trade for all the surrounding countries, including Ithaca. So the goal is to kill the king of Ithaca and then take a hold of the bridge. So yeah, that's why that. So she starts falling for him. Okay, the next one was the follow-up, The Traitor Queen. This is the second one, and I really don't want to get into too much detail because if you haven't read the Bridge Kingdom, I don't want to spoil anything for you. I think I already spoiled enough by saying what I did, but it's kind of self-explanatory because you would think that, okay, it's a fantasy romance. You can't go into fantasy romance thinking that she's going to do exactly what she says she's going to do because then there would not be a story. So the second one follows the first one, and I will tell you, you're going to want to read the second one shortly after the Bridge Kingdom because it's kind of like the book ends and you're like, what happens next? So I'm kind of glad that I read it when the second one was already out because I can continue it. I think she's going to write more, but it's not based on these characters. I think it's based on other characters in the book. So the story is going to continue, just not with the same two. But yeah, so I'm not going to spoil it. It just follows what happens in the first book. If you've read the first book or you're interested in it, you're going to like the second one, Traitor Queen, because it's a good follow-up and a good ending to that story. So I don't think I can recommend The Bridge Kingdom and Traitor Queen enough because I think it was a good little, I think it's called duology when there's 2 books in a series or 2 books in a little 2-book collection. So I recommend them. I don't know how else to say it without ruining more. So those are the books that I read for the month of May. If you read them too, let me know your opinion. Maybe you have some different opinions on them that differ from mine, and I would love to hear, I'd love to talk about them. If you have any recommendations, please let me know because I'm always looking for new books to read. So yeah, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new, please subscribe. I would love to have you join the channel, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks!